Good morning, everybody. We are back. This is the right side of campus, and we are live on a Thursday, May 24th, 2018. I'm your host, the big man on campus, here with my co-host, Donnie Rightside. Donnie, how you doing today?
Doing good. It's Thursday. Nice weather here in the Northeast. The only problem with that, Jeff, is regression is, I don't want to curse this early in the morning, is an MFer right now for me, Major League Baseball, as I struggle to pick up wins as of late. Hot start has cooled off right now, Jeff. But again, stick with the numbers that you have. Persevere through it. The ups, the downs. It's why we're gambling here. Let's have some fun today on the show.
Yeah, but Donnie, you're not even documented. What are you even talking about? What are you
Yeah,
even
exactly.
talking
You know
about?
what? You know what? I won 7 games last night, but the only one that's documented is the one I lost. Sorry I couldn't update Twitter to get those 7 plays in, but oh well.
We are promoted by the great people at Intertops. Intertops, if you're looking for a book, make sure you're checking them out. They're one of the best in the business. Great, a customer service, sleek interface. I'll tell you what, when you use a book, if the interface is sleek, I like it. I like it to look professional. Intertops looks great, looks very good. They've been around since 1996. They've been online since 1996. Founded in 1983, long time in the business. Plenty of bonuses and great odds. If you're German, they'll actually translate that on the page. There are a lot of cool things Intertops has. Please use Intertops today. We are promoted by the great people at intertops.eu. Donnie, let's get in to the show. We welcome everyone in. If you're out there, do us a favor, hit the like button, retweet it on Twitter. Great way to get the link out there to people that maybe don't know what the show is. If you're new to the show, we welcome you in. If you listen on a regular basis, welcome in. If you're new, this show basically is a recap of the night before. We talk about the big stories in sports and do a little predicting along the way. We'll get to some baseball in a little bit. We'll get to Rockets Warriors in a little bit. Big game there tonight. So we'll chat about all that and more. Let's get in, though, to a morning headlines filled with a lot of big stories, a lot of big news things going on. First things first, Donnie. We'll start out with the national anthem protest. Not anymore. If you protest and you kneel on the field for the national anthem, you will be fined. However, if you want to do it, that's okay. Just stay in the dressing room. Not really sure how that makes any sense. What a dumb decision. I mean, no, nothing was agreed upon here, Donnie. Nothing was, no end was figured out. It's just, hey, um, we've been backed into a corner, and we're gonna do what we think's best, and we think this is best. So no more kneeling. If you don't want to come out, don't come out. I'm not really sure how that makes any sense. National anthem. What do you got, Donnie?
Yeah, no, it's all about bottom line dollars. And if you offend part of your fan base or a majority of your fan base, it's going to affect your bottom line. They are businesses, so obviously the most important thing, Jeff, is not human rights, it's not what's going on in the country. It's did my bank account go up today or did it go down today? And that's where most of these rulings come in. The whole thing that shakes people up, Jeff, you could start it with the Kaepernick thing or, Reed taking a knee or multiple teams taking a knee, and then the show of solidarity one week where just about every team took a knee. Even Jerry Jones took a knee one week, and doesn't seem to be solving much. The only problem I have with it overall, Jeff, is and again, it's the same thing where if you're going to look around, whether or not it's they say repeatedly, it's not about the flag, it's not about the national anthem. Would it be better served, Jeff, to say, let's say, if the Philadelphia Eagles came out on the field, everybody stood for the national anthem, that was fine, and they came out for the kickoff, and then the defense comes out for the first possession of the game. There's a little maybe break or something like that, or maybe they can work it in with the NFL. Say, hey, look, as a team on defense, we want to take a knee for 5 seconds before this first play in solidarity because police brutality or whatever your rights that you're fighting for at that moment. Jeff, I don't think anybody at all would be offended by that, and I think the message would be served much better. The fact that they're picking to do it when the flag is presented during the national anthem is what ruffles feathers. Would you be okay, Jeff, if the NFL and they came up with a compromise saying, hey, look, let's pick a time during the game, just not during the anthem. You can protest. We'll make sure it's on TV. We'll get your point across, and we'll bring it a thought-provoking process. Does it have
Here's
to be
what
during the anthem?
here's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see change happen with all this. That's what I'd like to see. As an NFL, you're a powerful group. As a group of players, you're powerful people. You've done the legwork. You've done the protest. What have you done to change anything? There's been, and there's been likely, little change. I mean, we're talking about Colin Kaepernick. Listen, we all have different opinions on Colin Kaepernick. I, for one, do. I have very positive feelings on him. I think he's a warrior, and I think he's a hero, frankly. But as far as um, what he's done to change anything, I don't know if anyone noticed. This is still going on. I mean, no one's been doing anything to change it until people up higher decide to care about it. Nothing's going to change. You can kneel, you can not even come out, you can protest. Donnie, you and I both know that until someone up higher does anything about it, nothing's going to happen. I mean, look at the assault rifle problem we have in this country. No one will do anything about it. It's just going to keep happening and keep happening and keep happening until someone does anything. So, again, do I think that's a good idea? Yeah. But I got to ask, and I'm just being honest here, because a lot of people have raised this question. Why even do the national anthem? Like, I've heard people mention that. Like, why do we see that now on TV? We've never seen it before. Like, why is that on TV now?
But I mean, I've seen it for a long time before. They don't. A lot of the times, they don't even show the national anthem on TV unless
That's
it's
what I'm
like a
saying.
big game. Like you really only
That's what I'm
see
saying.
it
Like,
like what,
why?
like NFC title game, AFC title game. I guess because the
Yeah.
pageantry's there and patriotism and all that stuff. Which again I get. And I've come from a little bit more old school. Like every single event I played in high school and in college, the national anthem was played. You took your helmet off. It was a time to gather your thoughts over the minute and a half. Civic pride and duty. And I get that. Not everybody believes exactly in the standards, but it's the greatest country in the world. And just taking a moment to recognize, like, yes, we do have our flaws in this country, but you know what? We are all here for the United States. I just feel like, can you imagine, Jeff? Like half the fervor is wasted on the protest is because it's during the national anthem. You don't even get to the talking points. Like people just get angry. Why are they protesting? Because they want to protest. And you have the two ends meeting like this instead of the reason behind why they're protesting. I just think if it was done in a different manner, sometime during the game or at a different time, just not during the national anthem, Jeff, I think it would reach more people and more people would actually open up and listen to the issue because you know how hard, Jeff, I'm hard headed. You're hard headed. It's the way most people are. So when you see one point of view, you don't even want to see the other one because of what's staring you in the face. If we just moved it to a different portion of the game, but allowed it for more, openness and, discussion at this point, I think it would go so much farther in changing civic duties and rights and what people would actually see, as opposed to just seeing it saying, you're kneeing, you're disrespecting the flag. If we got past that, Jeff, you can have the open dialogue.
Yeah. And again, I don't want to go too deep into the rabbit hole. We obviously have, like, I have different opinions than you do on this, and I don't want to. There's people that are going to get offended by what I say and what I don't get to say, and I'm not going to I'm not on here to talk about politics.
No, and
So,
it doesn't. And again, like
listen,
the whole point on this too, Jeff, is I don't think anybody out there is for people being treated wrongly, like for police brutality.
that's what I'm sure.
Nobody
Right,
stands for that. I just wish we had a more
Donnie.
open dialogue, like the simple
Donnie.
stuff
It's
in
not
life,
police.
you know?
I hear you though. The last thing I'll say, it's not just police brutality. It's about the continued, basically, assault on African Americans in this country. That's what it is. The throwing them in prison for limited offenses, the continued police brutality. It's all that stuff, and that's what the only guy that's really made any sort of change, Kaepernick. He's the only one that's really these guys kneeling, these owners, do something about it. Like instead of kneeling, do something about it. You're part of the biggest league in the world. Do something about it. There's nothing else to say. You want change, go out and make change. I don't know what else to say. Another story, Donnie, kind of on the heels of this. Sterling Brown, Milwaukee Bucks, played at SMU. You remember Sterling Brown? He was involved an incident that came out January 26th of a testy confrontation involving, he basically had some parking issue. The cops wanted to speak to him about it, which this is one reason that cops shouldn't handle parking issues. They're in certain cities, like Philadelphia police doesn't handle parking. They have a separate entity that handles parking. Um, that's two. They shouldn't be handling parking in the first place. But they basically, ask him to speak to him. He's kind of hanging around there. He's got his hands in his pockets, out of his pockets. The officer asks, he just basically got into an argument, confrontation. They tase him after, I guess, not complying, Donnie. Another, story of abuse of power by the cops here that you know a testy situation could have been a lot worse. That and I have to ask, what was the discipline that you gave to the cops? Like, what happened? Did they get fired? Like, what happened?
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting thing. Like, I'm a pretty, cut and dry type of person. Leading to believe, like, I've never been arrested before, or like under duress in that situation. So I can't speak from that perspective. But one thing I do know in life is sometimes, Jeff, you do bring a little bit of on yourself. If I'm driving from my house to Atlantic City, go down the expressway, you can open it up, Jeff, on the expressway, right? I mean, hey, look, the speed limit is what, 70, whatever it is, but most people go 80, 90. But I know if I stay at 75 or keep it below 80 on the expressway, limited interaction with the cops, because we know pretty much that unwritten rule. If you're going over 80, you're probably going to be subject to being pulled over. So why would I go 100 miles an hour down the expressway? I'm probably going to increase my contact with a cop at that point. Now you're saying, well, what are you talking about, Donnie? Let's go back to this point with the Milwaukee and forget about who was right or wrong in this situation. You pull up in a parking lot and you double park or triple park across a handicapped spot. You're more likely to get a police presence in the area from that. Now, should it have escalated where the guy got tasered? No. But the cops are going to come. They're going to ask you questions. If I don't even want to say comprehend what the cops are saying, but hold on. Let me finish my point here. But if the cops pull up, hey, man, look, you're double parked. Is there a reason for that? Yeah, man, I got a really nice Lambo here. I'm sorry. Let me move it. I guarantee you they wouldn't have gave the guy a ticket or at least gave him a summons for like $25 and got out of there. But then when you escalate it and say, step back. Why am I going to step back? Get your hands out of the pocket. Why should I get my hands out of my pocket? It escalates the situation. You could de-escalate just about everything out there, but why would you put yourself in that spot? Take a normal parking spot. I guarantee you, Jeff, the police wouldn't be called or coming there if you were in a regular parking spot.
Okay, listen, we all parked illegally. I don't think anyone has a
No,
parked
I've
illegally.
never double parked in a handicapped parking spot. I've never done that.
I have.
You
Sometimes you just try
double
to run in
park in
quick.
a handicapped parking spot
Probably,
sideways.
probably, yeah.
Uh,
I mean, I parked in all weird kind of spots. Sometimes I park wherever I want just to run in and do something. I know it's probably not something I should do, but we've all done that. I don't know how it gets to the point of you tase someone. Okay, these it's if you say anything that it's obstruction. Well, what do you care? No, because I want to know why I'm being. And this
Oh,
isn't the
but
first
yeah,
time.
but in the police state and that, like, I get you want to know why, but there's some simple commands like, sir, stay next to your car and don't move. If a cop tells me that, Jeff, I'm gonna stay next to my car and not move. Make sure I see your hands. My hands are right here, officer. Like, I'm not moving them. They're gonna stay right here the entire time until you let me go. I'm not gonna say, get your hands out of your pocket. Why would I do that? And then you're gonna get the cops on edge at that point because then they don't know what's gonna take place. They're already, on edge at point, making calls left and right. And again, it doesn't excuse what they do at all, but I'm not giving anybody a reason to escalate the situation. Hey, I'll do what I'm told right here, and then pretty soon it'll be over.
Donnie tried to justify the Milwaukee police. By the way,
I'm
Donnie,
not.
I don't
No,
know
I
if you know.
just, I just
I
said
don't
I'm
know if
not,
you saw, but
not justifying.
even the cops themselves denounced this behavior. They
Of course
said
they
they
are.
were.
They don't want a riot on their head. Imagine if the police commissioner came out and said they did nothing wrong. Milwaukee would probably have a riot. It's easy to quell it. It's easy. That's why, Jeff, you're right. They said, we already disciplined them. That was a while ago. Let's move on. Because that's the way they quell the issue there. Should they have used the taser? Probably not. But I'm not talking from the cops' perspective. I don't even care about their perspective. I'm talking about my perspective as a human being. I'm going to park in a regular parking spot. If a cop has a question, I'm just going to answer it. I'm not going to be combative or argument. I want to diffuse the situation. I want it to be done, and I hope I don't get a ticket for it. That's all my perspective is.
Keep in mind, this is the same police department that has been involved several different times in similar situations with the same team. John Henson was involved in the same kind of stuff. This is the same police department that was guided by that psychopath David Clark for many years. This is a police department that has been through this before. Listen, I'm not going to denounce what Donnie says. Listen, if you get pulled over, no one's gonna. I'm never going to admit that you should do something out of pocket or anything. But there is some sort of um, issue with them, really not explaining anything. Why am I, it's a fairly trivial offense. Okay,
Yeah, but
listen,
hold
sir.
on. Did they have to explain to this guy why they were there? He double
Yes,
parked and handed. They had to explain that, like,
maybe he
look,
didn't
you
know.
know, you're part. Yeah, well, this is what I do here. You know what I mean? Like, if he again, it just gets back to the issue. If he doesn't double park and handicap, there's no cops on the scene. None, zero.
Listen, like I said, we won't go too deep. But again, I have certain opinions that I'd love to talk about, but I won't. Donnie, you're right. I don't disagree with what he's saying. Maybe he didn't know. I don't know. I have no idea. It was dark. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
even if he said like, can you imagine, like, if you had like a expensive ass Lambo, right? And you're like, look, man, last time I came, even if you made up a story, last time I came, my car got scratched. I was only in there for a couple minutes, blah blah blah, and they'd be like, all right, just don't do it again, or here's your thirty
right.
dollar
Why couldn't
fine.
they
He's an
just do
injured
that?
player, could
Why
probably
couldn't
pay
they
it.
just do that? Right. That's what I'm
I'm sure
saying.
there.
Like,
I'm sure, like, because I wish there was more. It's hard to see like body camera, like, where it gets. It's not edited, but where it like starts up or there. But I'm pretty sure the cops didn't just come on the scene and say, "I'm just going to beat this guy's ass and tase him right now," because it does. There's escalating issues that pertain to that. But again, it could have all been diffused by just following the simple rules. That's all.
Uh, let's uh, let's get a little levity here. Hugh Jackson and back in the news, and
Yeah.
this is a story that has been fairly underreported. However, I think it is quite funny. It's been reported out there. I think kind of just it just fell under the radar. Hugh Jackson has a new way that he feels that his team can be cleansed of everything that has happened over the last couple of years. He basically has said that he wants to jump in Lake Erie and basically use that as a way to basically lose all the bad vibes that they've had and cleanse the team going forward. And this is going to be a great way to fix the situation. They're not going to lose any more games. He's finally going to win. This is his decision. He's going to jump in Lake Erie to cleanse himself and to rid the toxins of bad football and bad seasons, Donnie. Uh, what do you think about that?
Yeah. With jumping in Lake Erie, it's probably more polluted than anything in the world at this point, being that old, rust belt. Who knows what they actually dumped into Lake Erie at this point. So if he jumps in there, Jeff, he probably won't cleanse himself. He will probably get a disease jumping in, which would fit Hue Jackson and his coaching style for the Cleveland Browns. Maybe, I don't know, Jeff, maybe just like take some of the fun off Cleveland or some of the angle, like it's on me now. I don't know what to think of Cleveland anymore, because when you look at the roster, it does have some talent there, but doesn't the like put like Brad Stevens? They don't have a great talent base for the Celtics right now. He's making it all work there with younger players, and hell, they might even make the finals at this point. What has Hugh Jackson shown you at any point? He's supposed to be like a quarterback guru. Deshaun Kaiser made the stupidest mistakes in the world last year. Isn't he supposed to get that or teach that out of him? I mean, the faster they move on, wouldn't it be smart, Jeff, if they cut ties with Hugh Jackson and said, you know what? The talent's starting to rise up here. Let's get a real coach in here now to see if they can take him over the top. I have no faith in Hugh Jackson whatsoever.
No. But hey, he believes that just by jumping into the water, that's going to fix him. Basically, like a baptism, Donnie. That's what he feels is going to happen. Um, Lake Erie would get a disease from the Browns. LOL.
Yeah,
Yes, good
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 point.
point.
Good point.
Good
Yeah.
point. Richie Incognito back in the news again. Another mess up by Richie Incognito. This is a guy that I do think should undergo a mental evaluation. It looks like he's going to. Richie Incognito arrested um, yesterday, basically for throwing a dumbbell at another person at a gym in Boca Raton, Florida. According to TMZ, Incognito threw a tennis ball at the other man, then threw a dumbbell at him. The victim said there was no reason for Incognito to throw things at him. Uh, Incognito was rambling about the government and screaming at the man to get off my blank playground. That's when the police are called. Uh, this is not the first time, Donnie, that Richie Incognito has been involved with kind of a bullish behavior. He was bullying, which, listen, we talked about John Martin. John Martin's obviously a bit of a nutcase himself, but Richie Incognito is he not the typical, like, you know, like big lineman, like, hardo kind of guy? Like, I'm going to just, it's my gym, brother. I'm going to fuck you up if you don't get out of my way, dickhead. And if you don't like it, I'm going to hit you in the face with a dumbbell.
No, you're look and look. What's the old common adage, Jeff? Zebra, tiger, they don't change their stripes. Richie's been a bad dude since college, which means he was probably a bad dude playing midget football and all the way through high school as well. He's not going to change. It's the ultimate machismo sport. And also, Jeff, he is a lineman, so he is butting heads every single play. And I'm pretty sure, mental issues are stemming from multiple collisions and concussions as well, on top of that super adrenaline rush you get. He's away from the football field. Sometimes you saw it even before he came back to the NFL, Jeff, like smashing the hell out of, I think it was like his Ferrari or Lamborghini at one point, and always had these issues. I hope it gets better for him. I hope he can find some peace in his life because, that path of destruction where you have to like just let out rage all the time. And you're not even, at least with football, Jeff, you can let your rage out on the field. Dirty football player hits after the whistle. That's how he lets his rage out. But now he's just out in public and away from the NFL, and you're throwing dumbbells at dudes in the gym. Jesus, man, get it together.
Also, according to onlookers, Incognito's been displaying strange behavior all offseason.
Yeah.
He said in April
Yeah.
he was retiring and told a reporter that his kidney and liver were failing. A couple days later, he tweeted at the Bills that he would see them at the start of the offseason program. They then put him on a retired list and then cut him when he wanted to play again. Yeah, listen. I mean, is this roid rage, Donnie? Sure
I
how
don't
it
know, man.
looks
Yeah,
like it.
Jesus.
Uh, what a psychopath. Yeah, that's what some people are saying. Chris, Fitness, and Troy V. Royd's making you crazy. Yeah. Yeah. Jeff
Did he
Slaughter
get
says
thrown off? I
50
think he even got thrown. Did he get thrown off of Nebraska's football team? Like
Yes.
it's the big like talent always prevails in just about every situation in pro sports. But my God, I mean, this guy's got 9 lives so far. It seems like.
Yes, he had some issues at Nebraska. He had issues at Miami. And now he has issues with the Bills. Jeff Slaughter says $50 Incognito will off himself this year. I don't know about that. Let's hope he goes and gets some help and
Yeah.
gets off the
Let's hope it goes
steroids.
the other way. Yeah.
Yes. Um, let's move on here. Stories are over. National headlines. Also, one other headline, Donnie, that I just want to
Yeah. Go
bring
ahead.
up quickly. This is not really sports related, but I thought it was a fascinating story. And I don't know if you heard about this. Did you hear about that 30-year-old guy that got evicted by his parents?
Yes, I did see
Basically,
that in the news.
they took
Yes,
him to
yeah.
court.
Yeah, or they're trying to like they had to go to court to get his ass out.
What a psychopath. I actually watched him. He got interviewed yesterday by Brooke Baldwin on CNN, and he
Yeah.
was what a nut. Like, she's basically like, "Well, you're 30 years old. You don't think maybe you don't want to go out and have like your own life?" And he claims, "Yes, I want to go out and have my own life, but they won't provide me with the right." I don't know. He just kept talking in circles. Really, it was quite bizarre, actually. Um, and Brooke brought up like millennials, and they have this like entitlement thing, and he goes, "Well, I'm not a millennial." And she said, "Yes, you are. You're in the age group of a millennial." And then she asked him, like, "Are you and your parents going to rectify the situation?" He goes, "No, I'm done with them." And you got to feel bad for the parents because they're a lot like most of those parents nowadays. You kind of want your kid to leave, and generally they're much younger than this, but you kind of want to be. I remember my parents, like when my brother and sister would leave, like they just wanted to be empty nesters. Like they were ready for that. They had done plenty of the 20, 22 years of that. What a sad individual, and you got to feel bad for his parents. I mean, seem like nice people. They're just ready to rid themselves of this lazy guy that wants to do nothing.
Yeah, the human body, Jeff, is built to work. You know what I mean? And you get a sense of well-being when you put in a hard day's work at an honest paycheck, can make it on your own, pay your own bills at that point. So I don't know where he's coming from. There was also a story back not too long ago, Jeff, in New Jersey, where the daughter was estranged from the family. I mean, kids grow up wild sometimes. They turn 18, they bounce. Well, then she tries to go to college and sues the New Jersey court system to force her parents to pay her college tuition, even though she was out of the house and at 18. So some people just have the sense like, you're my parents and, you're going to pay me and this is what it is. And I live here and I'm entitled to this and you're going to pay my bills. So, I mean, it is what it is sometimes. Some crazy people out there, man.
Yeah. Nate Holguin and Rashad Sutton not too happy with each other on the chat. Let's fizzle down here, boys. Uh, you know, we all have our different opinions. One we do agree on, though, that Michael Rotundo. What is Michael Rotundo going to do now? But by the way, it's funny because most people on gambling Twitter are in the same situation as Nate. Michael Rotundo, Donnie. And
Yeah.
they're not getting evicted. So maybe
Yeah.
maybe those parents use this as a lesson. And I know, Donnie, which this might be a good time to explain. I know most people think I live with my parents,
Yeah.
but have no fear, I don't.
That's Jeff's bed. By the way, that's Jeff's bedroom he's filming from with his mom. You ever see the video of his mom cooking in there, giving out
Yes.
plays? She's doing that in the other room right now. Yes.
My mom actually told me to go to my room one time. Yes, that was exactly how it went down, Donnie. Um,
Yes, I do
but
remember.
hey, by the way, down at the shore though, they do come down. That is my parents' house because I'm
Yeah.
only 28, and but yes, I do live in a nice place by myself, and I guess I could take the camera, but it's taped to the wall, so nothing I could really do about that. But hey, I guess you guys have to just believe me on that one. Um, Settle down, Guan White. There's just people that don't agree, man. I mean, I don't know what are you gonna do, man? That's why we live in America, man. I mean, you can believe what you want to believe, no matter how crazy. Let's get into NBA, Donnie. Last night, uh, the Boston Celtics just don't lose at home. I guess that's just what you cap nowadays. Who's at home and who's not. That's how you cap
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
Donnie. The Cavs win.
No, I
They
mean,
didn't shoot.
like, is it that simple? Like you just watch the MO of the series, and it almost seems like Jeff, like, is Brad Stevens this diabolical? Like, is he a diabolical individual where he goes, you know what? We're going to run these advanced analytics that if we just play really well at home in front of our crowd and our bench players play well, I'll make sure we rest up and don't do jack shit for games 3 and 4 on the road unless you give us the victory. If you play well on your home court, we don't care. We're going to save energy, not get involved. I'm not even going to call any great inbounds plays at this point because I'm just going to save it for game 5 when we get home. We blow the Cavs out. Now, the funny thing down there is, I say this with a little bit of jest, Jeff. Will Boston rest for game 6? Is he so diabolical that he goes, we are up in the series and have a guaranteed game 7. I'm going to see if I can wear LeBron out in game 6. Maybe he goes for 45, 15, and 14, and I'll rest everybody. We won't even do anything. Our whole goal purpose here is to run over and make Cleveland tired. Then we'll just take care of them at home.
I mean, Boston shoots 36% and wins. I mean, that's quite amazing. But I'll tell you, I mean, great defense. Uh, Obviously, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what and then you hear about Tyronn Lue after the game, talking about God knows what. Donnie, let me ask you, who is a better coach, Tide Lue or Buttermaker from the Bad News Bears?
Yeah, exactly. At least, hey, Buttermaker has at least had his pulse on the team. Like, look, the best player is Kelly Leak. Kelly, I don't care what you do out there. Run around the entire field and make every out for my ball club. At least he had a sense of awareness on who's good and who's not, right?
We also told like kids to get hit by the ball and like
Yeah, have a beer
made his
after the game,
and he
relax.
made his
Yeah.
daughter pitch like when her arm was gonna fall off. He had like kids. I don't
Made the
know.
kids work for him with the pool. What are they, like 12, 10 years old? They
At
got to
that
work in
pool,
the
yeah,
clean the pools. Yes, great
make him
guy, man.
make him like martinis and stuff. Uh, I'll tell you what a great movie that is. If you ever looking for a movie to watch, the original Bad News Bears with
Oh, it's
Mathau,
fantastic.
what a
Outrageous.
great movie.
Yes.
The best
Yeah.
part of that movie is when he's like they're out at that baseball field like practicing, and Buttermaker's like throwing them batting practice, and eventually he just keels over because he's so whacked, and the kid falls over, and one of the kids goes, "I think he's dead," and the one kid goes, "He's not dead, he's drunk." It's just like
Come on,
he's
I'm
just
mad.
whack.
Get the ball. I'm mad. Oh man, it's fantastic, man.
These are
That
great.
movie, the movie's timeless. Like you could pop it on, and any kid, any adult, any age group will get a laugh out of the Bad News Bears. The first one, not the ones where they start playing in like
No,
Texas and like all
the
this stuff and
original.
down the road. The very original one is a masterpiece. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. The one where he's like he first becomes their coach and everything. Um, what else do we have here? Will Boston rest for Game 6? That's a good question, Donnie. You kind of just explained that. I don't know. I guess. I mean, be good for the NBA for Game 7, but I got a feeling they're going to win on the road. I think they're going to win this game, and it's going to just be over. I don't know. And
Yeah,
I
they're
think
just a better.
LeBron.
It's funny, Jeff. Like, you're right. Like they're just a better. Like we have LeBron James, right? But they're just a better head coach and a better overall team that you can get hot for. Like, unless if Korver's missing his shots and LeBron doesn't pour in 45, like they get blown out. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't know. It's the way it is, but I'm sure Cleveland's going to show up. I'm pretty sure the bat phone is going to be ringing left and right from Adam Silver. We need a game 7 here. So you know the way this goes with LeBron James, right?
Is Tyronn Lue going to get fired? I don't think he's going to get. Why would he get fired? He's a yes man.
No, if
He
LeBron
lets him.
leaves. If LeBron leaves.
Oh yeah. If LeBron leaves, he's definitely going.
It's over.
Um, but with him there, I mean, he's the perfect coach. He just talks stupid, and that's it. Cavs or Caps. Show some heart, and they're moving on to the Stanley Cup Finals. Not good for Washington. They could finally
Hey,
celebrate with
good
them.
for Washington, even better for Vegas, you would say, right? Because that would have the
Home
balance
field.
shifted now from home ice to one direction to another. If Tampa Bay wins that game, their home ice, obviously having 4 games to 3 on your home ice means a lot more in these environments here. Vegas now going to be well rested and ready to go game 1 on their home ice on Monday. Great, it should be fun. Like, look. Jeff and I aren't. I am a hockey fan. I'm more of a Flyers fan than a hockey fan, as opposed to I love the NFL and I also love the Eagles. But I like events. Jeff will be the same as well. He's followed Vegas all year long, same as I have. What an interesting story, and it's going to be a lot of fun to see it play out here. It's a world title. I hope it goes 7 games. Can you imagine Game 7 in Las Vegas, Jeff? 1-1 late in the third period. Be phenomenal to watch. I'm rooting for it.
And I'll tell you this: I'm not hedging any future. Let it ride, baby.
Jeff, you don't have any futures. You have a pay per head account, and there's a reason why you're not showing how much money you have on the future.
Yeah, yeah. I
And
didn't
by
bet
the
it.
way, the
Not really
famous
mine.
quote of all time is Jeff's never won a future. That's going against you too.
Yeah. I've actually shown over the past several years, and I'm actually quite good at futures. I've actually done pretty well with them overall. Like I've gotten a couple pretty close. But oh, by the way, I have Liverpool this week in the Champions League at 9-1. Put that in your pipe and smoke it also. Let's Sean Robertson, Caps in 6. I can't agree with that. Caps have been great on the
I think it's
road.
pretty even
Caps are
matched though,
stealing.
Jeff. I think it's a good series. Like I think 2 teams pretty evenly matched, and I think it should be fun. Like it's not one of those where one team's going to freight train the other, like the Western Conference versus the Eastern Conference. I think it'll be fun. And again, I'm not rooting for anybody. Would it be? I'd actually would rather Vegas win the Cup than Washington, just because of our East Coast hatred, Jeff, towards some other cities here up in the Northeast. But I wouldn't mind if the Washington won, or if just give me a good series. I'll be happy with it. That's all.
Exactly. Let's move on to MLB. Did you check out World Cup? Yeah, I did. Yeah, I mean, they look pretty good. I got to get mine out. I'm not really I think you did some Golden Boot ones. I'm not really one fan. I'm more of a top goal scorer kind of guy, but yeah, I'll check them out. Let's get to MLB here. Donnie, Rightside. MLB
Yeah, no, yeah,
was
review. Let's get a little review. Okay.
interesting, let's say. You look at last night, the Mets struggle against the Marlins, and you and I were talking about this, Donnie. You think on the surface, run line maybe looks good, but then you think to yourself, I mean, do these shitheads really have the ability to score a couple runs? And they didn't last night. They go up 1-0 and end up losing 2-1. Um, this is about as bad a loss as you can have if you're the Mets after the little kind of poor streak they've been on.
No, you're right. And you look at the game, like I even had a couple side wagers. I had the Mets team total over 2 first 5 innings. And Jeff, we laughed about it last night, which I don't like to laugh because I lost money on it, but it is kind of funny the way it turns out. They can't scratch Dan Straley, right? First 4 innings. Like they can't even touch this guy. Like he's Ace Straley from, ready to run for the Cy Young. Bottom of the 5th inning comes up. Ahmed Rosario gets on, tries to steal second base. He gets thrown out. The next batter hits a home run. So at least I would have, it ends 1-0 after 5. At least I would have a push in my pocket. That one goes down. So then you take the full game yesterday, which I never give out run line, but I'm saying to myself, like, look, the Mets legitimately need 3 or 4 runs here off Straley because DeGrom is going to mow this whack-ass Marlins team down left and right. What does he do, Jeff? 7 innings, 0 earned runs, and it's 1-0 going into the 9th. Now, the ultimate gambling curse that we have is if you say, if I don't win my bet, I hope you lose the game outright. Well, it happened. 2-1 final. Marlins beat the Mets. That's outrageous, man. Come on.
Alex Cobb was somehow a favorite last night and got crushed.
Yeah.
No surprise there. Alex Cobb blows. The Orioles blow. I'll take the White Sox over them any day. And Dylan Covey was actually pretty good last night, Donnie. Uh,
Hmm.
if Alex Cobb is a favorite, or actually in any bettable way you can bet against him, I would do it. He stinks. He absolutely blows. Alex Cobb does.
No, it was a brutal game. It was over early too. What 4-1, 5-1, 6-1, 7-1. Every inning it seemed like the White Sox were just tacking on runs on top of them. And an interesting thing, Jeff, which you didn't put down in the list, little side point in this game. How would you like to be a Major League Baseball player and word breaks over the internet that you're about to be suspended for 80 games? So better get your hustle on tonight because it's going to end as of tomorrow morning. Wellington Castillo, Jeff. Roids, what's it going to be this time? I went to the Dominican. Ate some bad beef. I came back. Blah 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 blah. So we'll wait for the interesting part. It would be nice if Wellington Castillo goes, look, I'm not that great a player. I got hit up with some juice. I advanced my career. I made a lot more money off it. I needed help to win. I wanted to help my team win. And you know what, Jeff? I'm like, you know what? Respect that. But I don't want to see him come out and say, I was just trying to have a kid and my wife couldn't get pregnant, so I took these pills. Yeah, come on.
Good point. I actually didn't see that. Good point.
Yep.
Wild finishes in the Reds and Blue Jays games. I had Donnie, I had the under in this Red or Blue Jay game. I mean, it's
Yeah.
3-1 going into the ninth, but fucking Tyler Clippard comes in. Listen, I know Osuna's out because he hit his wife or whatever, which is pathetic in its own set. But you don't have anyone else than Tyler Clippard. Come on, man. Tyler Clippard has been complete trash since he came into the league. Just brutal. I mean, I don't know how it didn't go over. Frankly, I mean, there were a lot of opportunities. There was like a bomb hit by Kendry Morales, and it stayed up in the air so long that he ended up only getting a single out of it, and a big two out, two double play by Cole Calhoun to throw a runner out. Did you watch this game, Donnie?
I
Did you
watched
see
it.
any
I
of it?
watched the end of the game. Yes, I watched it. I was laying in bed. I said, let me just see how this game closes out. And all hell broke loose in the ninth inning. But you're right. And the thing that I got the laugh out of was I can't, if I bet on a game with Granderson in it, he's guaranteed 0 for 4 with 4
Yeah.
strikeouts, no matter who's on base, where they're at. And the minute he got that double in the ninth inning, I'm like, this game is over. They're finally going to win this. And Kendry Morales comes up, who's playing a little bit better as of late, hits a moonshot, which I don't even care if you have Ryan Howard probably could have had a triple on that play, and he hightails it down first base and jogs. I've seen the hard single off the right field wall, right? The rocket where Miguel Cabrera does it in Detroit, comes off hard off the wall, good throw to second base, he gets a single. I get that. I have never seen a moonshot to center field hit the wall and you get a single. It's out. I can't even believe it happened.
The craziest thing was there was also a guy on second. He didn't
And third.
score. Yeah, the guy on
Yes,
third scored,
it's
but
awful. I almost don't if there's one out because it changes the complexion of the game, puts the double play in there, and changes up some options. Because if you're going to say the guy on second is like, there's no outs, let me just make sure it's not caught, and I want to tag up. The guy from third scores, the guy from second gets the third base, right? But you should have second and third to take the double play ball out because that can change your entire hitting. Like, hey, look, I'm just going to pull a ball on the right side of the field on the ground, and that runner scores automatically, and there won't be a double play that ends the ball game or gets 2 outs on there where we can't win and only tie the game. That was a calamity of errors in that inning, but credit Cole Calhoun, who blew the Granderson play, Jeff, to even start the inning, comes back up with a cannon shot to home plate.
Yeah, I was screaming about him for a while. Cole Calhoun also sucks from the plate, by the way.
Yeah,
For anyone that wants to defend that idiot.
Hi, Jeff. How do you have a nice, you look at Cole Calhoun, should be like a middle linebacker. Like, you know what, dude? This dude's a great athlete. He's got a cannon in the outfield. He's obviously athletic. What are you hitting under 200 for, man? Shouldn't you at least be, Joey Gallo-esque and have like 20 home runs? I mean, what are you doing?
Cole Calhoun hitting 160 this year, by the way.
Yeah, man.
MLB is so tough right now. I actually feel like I figured out it a bit. Like I think I kind of have like the thing I'm looking at this point, and I'm just kind of running with it, But yeah, it's a long season. D-backs struggle again. They lose. Only scored 2 runs. We all know their lineup stinks.
Well, hold on, Jeff.
Reds.
Yeah, hold on. I want to
Reds.
talk Reds before we get to that D-backs. Yeah, go ahead with the D-backs. We'll talk about them.
Go ahead, Donnie, because I know you're going to tell us about how you're so sick of people K'ing with 1 out.
Yeah, no. It was a calamity, but I'm just talking like singular innings in that game. Like if you saw it winding down, the game never should have had any shot at going over full game. I mean, not even a shot. The sixth inning is a calamity of errors that ends up 4-0. Still had no shot at going over. If you want to take a look, Jeff, it gets to the 12th inning where now you're down, and again, because the pitchers always have to bat in the National League, after like 12 innings, you can't even sub in a guy off the bench, which is outrageous. It should be, Jeff, once you get to like the 12th inning, they'll let you put back in like 2 utility guys who can at least bat. So you have a formality out there and something that resembles Major League Baseball. Take a look at the 9th inning there. Jay Harrison with a nice hit to put the Pirates up 5-4. Next guy comes up, can't drive them home. Over under, keep in mind, is 9.5 in this game. The 9th inning starts out, Jeff, with Joey Votto at the plate. So like, look, you got the meat of the order for the Reds. Let's see if we can do something. Closers are already out of the game. I believe Brault was in pitching. Laser beam, Jeff, right down the right field line, which Sean Rodriguez kicks around in the corner. Now, in your head, if you're running aggressive, you're taking that hard look around first, and you're picking up the third base coach to see, like, you know what, maybe I can get a triple. Well, Votto has in his head already, Jeff, well, I'm just going to take the double, when he could have had a triple if he paid attention and saw Sean Rodriguez jumbling the ball in the right field corner down there. Now the next batter comes up and you're saying to yourself, oh my goodness, why don't you just bunt him over to third base? They don't bunt him over, Jeff. They get something even better. I believe Scooter Gennett was up. He singles the center field. But Votto doesn't read the play well enough, and he can't even score from second to home on that play and stays at third base. Next guy comes up, Jeff. He hits a laser out the left field to Corey Dickerson, who has a bad arm out there. Votto doesn't even tag up at this point. So you're saying to yourself in your mind, you know what? Why didn't he tag up? Well, there's only 1 out. He doesn't want to get thrown out at the plate. Jeff, do you know who comes up the next after that guy? The pitcher, who struck out immediately. Now there's 2 outs here. To make a long story short, they couldn't score it there. Joey Votto with 3 base running errors, Jeff, in 1 inning cost you the over if you had money on that game.
He's more worried about talking about Canada and, maybe he should
and
work
like
on
not
his
throwing a
base
foul ball to Phillies fans. Yeah, exactly.
All right, Donnie. Let's move on to today's action. What do we have on the card?
Oh, no D-backs for you, Jeff?
No, I mentioned them quickly.
Get a quick point in there. Just get a 10-second in there. D-backs, ready, Jeff? Go. Your thoughts.
I think they're the worst lineup in the league. I mean, and again, all these people on Twitter, you're overreacting. Oh, how am I overreacting? Explain how I'm overreacting. Oh, they have injuries. Who's injured? One person? AJ Pollock? If you want to say, no, they traded everyone away and now they don't have anyone, yeah, that would be correct. Paul Goldschmidt's hitting 200. Yeah, that would be correct. They're not dead last in batting average and on-base percentage and strikeouts per game and all that different stuff. I mean, are they not? No, Bigman, they're not. Yeah, they are. Stop trying. You know what Twitter's for? Twitter is not for everyone to have an opinion on everything possible, no matter how stupid it is. Sometimes you just got to say, you know what, big man? As always, you're right. And I am.
And you know what the best part about it is, Jeff? Is baseball not the only sport where you can play 50 games, and then you'll still have the talking point like, it's still early in the season. Let me tell you something. Right now, if you're through 50 games and you suck as a pitcher or as a hitter, probably chances are you're not going to turn it around the rest of the year. If you've played 50, not 5, Jeff, not 5 in cold weather. You're at 50 games, man.
That actually had me thinking when you said 50 games, Donnie. You've seen the legendary video of, I posted many times, when this caller calls into Mike Francesa and goes, hey, Mike, I was just wondering, do you ever think that a team will go undefeated in the major leagues? And Mike goes, wait a second. 162-0? He goes, yeah. I mean, the Yankees got close a couple years ago. Didn't they win like 120 games? They were only like 50 games away. And he goes, 50 games? They were 50 games away? And the guy just keeps talking about how he thinks that at some point someone, because in the NBA, the Bulls almost did it one time. Keep in mind that was half the amount of games, and they would still had 10 losses. He was trying to say that he thinks at some point that's going to happen. It just made me think of that. But let's get into some baseball today, Donnie. What do we have?
Yeah, we'll go real quick there. We got everything up we put a little hodgepodge in there because obviously everything's running down here on the season. 507, 508, Jeff. Golden State Warriors, Houston Rockets. Look at this right now. Got some movement out here. Pinnacle, -1. Chris, -1. Intertops, -1. Bet Online, -1, Jeff. The favorite tonight, the Houston Rockets. Do they have enough, Jeff? pulled out a, muck and grind kick fest late, came back, looked like they were dead and buried. Usually good coming out in your home crowd. Is that going to make the Golden State Warriors angry, Jeff? Or can Houston shoot the lights out at home and send it back to game 6 with a lead 3-2 in the series?
Yeah, I think they do. They'll win this game. I'm on Golden State. Anytime I can get Golden State to pick them, I'm taking them. They lose, they lose. I don't really care. But Donnie, let me tell you this: if you're looking to take Houston tonight, very random trend, but I think it's interesting. Off an upset win as an underdog in the next game, Houston 0-2 this season, 6-18 over the last 3 years in that situation. They don't cover off upset wins. They just don't do it. They also I just can't see Golden State losing 2 in a row. I just don't. I'll take and all that. Oh, it's a public side or it's a trap. Listen, there is no traps in the playoffs. Sorry. There's a lot of action on each side. I'm taking the Golden State Warriors, and I'm not really too mad about it either. So Klay Thompson will be in there. If I can get them in a pick'em situation or +1, I'm interested. Give me Golden State.
Yeah, but Jeff, I do have a question. I heard you say you took it back 3 years. Can I get any data dating back to 1980 on this stuff?
No, no. Unfortunately, my date only goes back to 96.
Yeah. And also, just quick topic on tonight's game: MVP tonight. I don't mean like who's going to be the series, the MVP of the National Basketball League. Who needs this? To give me one player from each team, Jeff, from your perspective. Who needs the? And forget Steph Curry or James Harden. Who needs to step up for the Warriors? Who has to step up for the Rockets tonight?
I think for Golden State, I mean, it's hard to ever say they have an MVP because they all generally shoot the ball particularly
Yeah.
well. I would say someone like Draymond Green, you need to see better defense out of him. You need to see him keep his cool. I don't know. I don't know that he's built to just not say anything. Like, just shut the hell up and play. I think he's, Steve Kerr for that matter. I mean, Steve Kerr probably needs to. I think he was under his decision making late in that game was a little poor. The last play, really everything about it. I would say Draymond Green or Steve Kerr. As far as Houston, I think one of those fringe guys, the Eric Gordon, someone like that. You need to continue to get stuff
Ariza.
out of those
Yeah.
guys. Yes, yes. Ariza, and you know what? You didn't really get it out of him in the last game. No one really played well other than Paul and James Harden. I mean, you look at Donnie, the box score in that game. Harden 30, Paul 27. The only other player in double figures was Eric Gordon. Ariza's
Yeah.
done nothing. PJ Tucker. PJ Tucker played 44 minutes. He had a lot of rebounds, but he didn't do much of anything from the field. So I guess you kind of take that out. But where's Trevor Ariza been? He played 40 minutes. He scores 9 points. Need more out of him. A bit more out of Capella's more of a defensive guy, but I need more out of a fourth player. I think it's PJ Tucker or Ariza. They need to step up and give him something.
Yeah, no, it should be fun to watch. Definitely be tuned in there. We got about maybe 5-6 minutes left. Jeff, spend a little time on some baseball out there. We picked out a couple games here. O's and the Sox, two bad teams. Last night they finally got over the total. 11-1 is the final coming back today, Jeff. And you know what? Just looking at the over on the look, the Orioles sometimes just can't get out of their own way. The same thing you can be said about the White Sox. But one thing you can be said about both of these two pitchers, they can be had here. If you take a look at some splits there, Jeff, Bundy on the road, left-hand side, you can annihilate Dylan Bundy on the road here. 5.63 xFIP, 488 weighted on base average against himself, only striking out 17% of the left-hand batters that he does face on the road. If you like BABIP numbers, balls in play, Jeff, 414 if you could just make contact off the guy, walks and hits the innings pitch if he's facing lefties, 209 at this point. Looks like maybe 4 to 5 lefties could possibly be in the rotation there in the starting lineup for the White Sox to try to do that. And look at Giolito out there. Okay pitcher, been awful at home. 4.20 weighted on base average at home, the lefties. 8.85 xFIP, the lefties, Jeff. 7.60 the other side. It's just a matter of, can Baltimore actually swing and put competent bats together? There should be runs today, but over the last 2 weeks, as you've seen, unders aren't hitting here, and no matter what takes place, it's a home run or nothing out there. What do you think today, Jeff?
Yeah, you have another case here of why is Baltimore a 140 favorite? I mean, this doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't, man. Like, I don't get it. They're 5-21 on the road this year. They're hitting 216 against right-handed batters. Listen, I don't like Giolito. I don't like Covey. I don't like any of those guys. But Donnie, truth of the matter is, like, after everything's said and done, left-handers are hitting 250 against Giolito. Right-handers hitting 222. I mean, I don't think I don't think he's as bad as Bundy. I would take Chicago if I had to. They're actually playing pretty well right now. There's nothing about Baltimore that I like. Their rotation is, I think, the worst in the league. Their bullpen's awful, and their offense can't get out of their own way right now. I would take Chicago at this price. I don't understand it.
All right, we'll keep it moving on here. Jeff got a couple more here, about 5 minutes left in time. We'll go Kansas City and Texas, Jeff, an interesting one. One of the night games tonight. Nice little spread here, Jeff. Two 12 o'clock games, a 2, a 3, a 6, a 7, a couple 8 o'clock games. Should be nice. We're going to take a look at Duffy, who is an awful pitcher. We'll get into some of his splits here, home and away. And then you have what? Austin, Justin, Bieber's, Dirks going to make his reappearance to Major League Baseball tonight for the Texans. Jeff, Duffy's been good against left-handed batters on the road since he's a lefty. 206 weighted on base average, strikes out 25%, although it is very limited there from what he's looking at from the batters. Right-handers, Jeff, though, you have at it. If you can line up right-handed batters against Danny Duffy, 423 weighted on base average, only striking out 15% of his opponents from the right-handed side, 346 balls, batting average of balls in play, 576 xFIP. But the problem here is looking at some of the advanced lineups here for the Rangers, doesn't look like they can just load up from the right-handed side and get after them. If you're looking at Bibbins Dirks from back down, and because obviously you're not going to have any Major League starts this year, 336 BABIP, 1.34 WHIP, 19% K, xFIP 468. Just an average guy in the minor leagues, Jeff, coming up to get a start. You saw last night the ball was flying around down there. Now the Royals come to town. What are we looking at?
I would say over, Donnie. I mean, both these pitchers, particularly Duffy, have had trouble. You're seeing some
And
money, though,
Pens.
go on to the Royals here. People, I guess they think Danny Duffy's going to bounce back. I don't know that I see that. Bibbins Dirks is a minor league kind of spot starter kind of guy. Um, Texas has been hitting the ball around lately, especially with the Yankees in town. Um, I think Kansas City, one good thing about them is good offense, bad rotation, generally equals a lot of overs. I'm probably looking towards over here.
Astros Indians today, Jeff. Taking a look, Morton and Clevenger, two good pitchers on the mound. Morton's been really good. I mean, take a look at his road splits, Jeff. 315 weighted on base average, which is great versus lefties, and outrageous, I believe, .148 versus right-handed batters on the road. Strikes out 28.6%, Jeff, of his left-handed batters on the road. I believe his home split, Jeff, is almost 50% from the left-handed side he's striking out. Somebody needs to check Morton for some HGH at this point. Clevenger's been good at home there, 324 to lefties, and also righties, 350. If I'm taking a look at this game, Jeff, just on some advanced numbers that you're looking at, the way both of these teams can pitch, I'm actually, I mean, we know Houston can hit, right? We know Cleveland can hit when they wake up. I'm still looking under in this game.
I think the bullpens are the difference here. I mean, you look at Cleveland, you look at Houston.
Yep,
Major
Yep.
difference bullpen wise. I mean, Cleveland has and that's one of the reasons you're always kind of skeptical to take unders with Cleveland. I mean, Clevenger's been real good, but that bullpen has over 6 ERA at home. They've been awful. I think Houston is better in every
Yeah.
category, really. I would look towards Houston at this price. You're actually getting a pretty good price on Morton and the Astros.
Yeah. No, it looks good there, Jeff. Just about running out of time. 1 minute left here for a Thursday, ramping up again. It was nice to have Major League Baseball here in the afternoon. I'll be digging in, got my notes ready to go, Jeff. Just need the numbers to stay true today. How about you? Got anything planned for the rest of the day?
I can't say I do. I got to do some things in my own life personally, as far as some errands and stuff. But other than that, no. I'll be back a little later, taking a look at the card. We'll try to find something there. Not a huge card tonight, but we'll figure it out. Everyone have a great night. Thanks for all the great participation. As always, we'll be back Friday with another Schnuv. Or Thursday with another. What today is today? Thursday.
Friday. Come on, Jeff.
We'll be
Friday. Tomorrow's Friday. Friday.
Tomorrow, Friday. We'll be back Friday with another Right Side of Campus. Have a great day. Bye bye.